Coerced labor. What is it and what does it mean? Coerced labor is defined as labor or work achieved through force or by threats. This was a labor system used by societies as a way to help their economy while also reducing the work that had to be done by upper classes. Corvée labor has been seen in every society in world history in many different ways. For example, China began practicing corvée labor during the Qin dynasty around 200 BCE. China used this free labor to build the infamous Great Wall of China. This was made possible by civil service duties today similar to jury duty. China would force peasants to work for certain periods of time as their civil service. Through the usage of coerced labor, China became a dominant power in early world history. Slavery was also a type of coerced labor. Slavery is the buying and selling of people like property. There are many examples of slavery throughout history, like when the Egyptians built their pyramids, the slave trade through the Atlantic Ocean, and much more. Slavery was a way for higher classes to build personal servants to work for them. Governments also participated in slavery. Through products such as sugar, tobacco, and coffee, cash crops from Latin America became very popular in Eurasia. Because of this, demands were high for these products. So the question plantation owners asked themselves was, how can I create more products to get a bigger profit? The answer is slaves. Slaves worked on plantations, and in result, the plantation owners were very wealthy, especially during the 1700s. However, people eventually began to realize that slavery was wrong, that people are people, not property. The U.S. began the anti-slavery movements in the 1800s, which led to other countries banning slavery as well. So what kinds of coerced labor were used after slavery was abolished? The Russians began to use serfdom. Serfdom is where poor farmers agreed to work land owned by lords in exchange for food and shelter. As you can see, serfdom is very similar to corvée labor, and popularized its appeal in Russia, because slavery was abolished but empires still needed a source of coerced labor. Although serfdom sounds like a mutual agreement, it usually benefited the landowner more than the farmer. The peasant was taxed and owned by their landlord for life. So basically it worked like this. Let's say your parents ask you to work a lemonade stand, and in return you can eat dinner with them and sleep inside the house. If you make a certain amount of money from your stand, you can go spend the night at a friend's house. After you close your lemonade stand for the day, your parents decide to tax you so that they're going to take a portion of what you made because they gave you supplies, shelter, and food. Because of this, it's hard for you to save enough money so you can go out and play with your friends. This is similar to how it was for peasants under serfdom. If they earned enough money, they could pay the landlord and leave, but this was nearly impossible to do. Although the system hurt many peasants, it was a reliable source of labor in Russia. The Haitian Revolution shows failure by not using coerced labor. The Haitian economy fell soon after the independence of slaves in Haiti. The Haitian state was very dependent on sugar as a source of income, and with no slaves to work on the sugar plantations, Haiti's economy was in trouble. This has created great economic distress on Haiti, which is why it remains one of the poorest countries in the world to this day, with 58.5% of their population below the poverty line.